What's going on, YouTube? We are back with another video, bro. Today I'm coming with y'all with another true horror story reaction video. You feel me? I should have been recorded this jump way before it ain't gone now, because I do gotta go to work later on. But my black son didn't want to get out of bed for some reason. But I don't know what's been going on with me lately, but it's just like I just can't get out of bed. Like I just want to keep laying down for some reason. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's something medical going on. I don't know. I just feel like every time I go to bed, no matter how much I got enough for sleep, I just don't want to get up for some reason. And still always, no matter how much sleep I get, I'm forcing myself to get out of bed. And I told myself maybe I need like drinks, an energy drink, or some coffee, because usually I be having to get up like 2 times and then I go lay back down. Maybe I need to give you like an energy drink or something. So when I do that, and I do probably decide I want to go out to sleep, or I decide that I just gonna stay up, I won't, for one, if I'm about to go to sleep, I won't be in no deep sleep, cause they claim that you drink energy drinks and then you try to go to sleep, you ain't gonna be in like no deep REM sleep. So this probably be a good idea to do that, especially I got something to do on that day. Which is sad, because I usually could get up without having to do all that, but now it's like I just can't get out of bed for some reason. Like it's just the hardest thing to do to get out of bed. And this probably the solution, because I ain't gonna lie, we said a lot of people drinking coffee when they get up, and then they maybe probably lay back down a little bit and then they get back up, so they ain't gonna be too tired by the time they get up or be struggling to get out of bed. Anyways, y'all, let me do my hair. In this video, we going to be reacting to true gas station horror stories, and the only reason I'm doing this one this time because I work at a gas station. You feel me? I'm over here working at a gas station right now until. Why the freak is my junk doing that? I'm over at a gas station until they ain't gone. I ain't gonna wait till I finish classes, but I've been working there because I'm taking classes at college right now. So, but most likely this year I'm gonna be looking for a job based on what I get my degree in. So we making more money. You feel me? Cause I need more money. Anyways, y'all, let's go ahead and get right into the video. I ain't gonna waste no more time, cause I'm already behind time anyway. Oh yeah, before I start, bro. One day I had some crazy stuff happen at gas stations, but it never been like no scary stuff. Usually it just be like people fighting or something, people arguing or something, people coming there acting slow, people coming there like they're tripping off some type of drug or something. That's the only stuff that I seen that happened there. And there don't be no other, like no scary stuff. Now people that work third shift, I don't know about them. They probably had some crazy stuff happen, but I don't work third shift, I only work first and second.
So I've actually got 2 stories that I think are worth hearing, and they're both related to each other. My name is David. I used to work late nights at a gas station / convenience store out in the middle of nowhere. This was forever ago, which I'm only mentioning because it was back before every establishment had state-of-the-art security systems and cameras covering every square inch of their property. It's not like security systems didn't exist, more so that it wasn't much of a priority. Plus, the owner was cheap. But anyway.
But the crazy is now, it's crazy that you said this, because now, bro, where I work at, bro, they even got cameras now that down there at 4K, and you can zoom in and see like clearly. Like say if somebody looking at something on their phone or something, on the cameras you got there, you can literally go to the camera and zoom in and see exactly what they're looking at on their phone. That's how good no cameras look at my job. Which then you originally had them, we had no old ones, but then they get new ones eventually.
The job was laughably easy. The most difficult part of working there was honestly the owner. He legitimately had the mind of a goldfish. We'd have the same 2 arguments multiple times a week, and it was almost like this guy forgot what we argued about every time, because he'd constantly repeat himself and bring up things we'd already addressed. But whatever. Here's everything you need to know. Most nights, it was just me in there from 11 p.m. to 7 in the morning, and the place didn't see much traffic. That's about it.
Wait,
Anyway,
well, how about the time you say?
pretty sure didn't see much. Most nights it was just me in there from 11 p.m. to 7 in the morning, and the place didn't see much traffic. That's about it.
Crazy guy where we work at, you work there, so you work like 10 a.m. until 7 o'clock in the morning. Cause hobby, I go in, well, if I was on the store side, I don't really work on the store side like that. If I were to work on, then go on morning, third shift, well, not third shift, second shift, I'll go in like 2 to 10, then they come in 10 to 7. Which I prefer morning shifts anyway.
During the week, I was doing what I always did, leaning against the counter with a magazine in hand, trying to prevent the boredom from putting me to sleep. It was,
bro, that's one
I
thing.
don't remember exactly.
I know I keep pausing. This is my last time pausing. That's one thing I would say about working at a gas station. And I feel bad for people that work the third shift at a gas station because, bro, you leave just sitting there for hours waiting for customers to come in there. And where I work at, on the side I work on the side where we make basically like a barista side. Basically, you make coffee and stuff, but we technically not baristas because we still like ring up customers for the store stuff. We still ain't gonna, and then we do food and stuff. Like we do like the roller grill. They gonna make pizzas, put hot dogs out, do the condiments and all that for the hot dogs and stuff. Basically, put chili out and warm the chili up, all that. We basically do all that stuff on the dang on coffee side. So technically, we ain't baristas. But also just call us like, I don't know what you would call us. Like food associates, I guess. I don't know what the frick you call us. But yeah, that's basically like how our story is.
Since the store had the remarkable ability to blend all the ungodly hours of the night into one.
But yeah, bro, working at a gas station, bro, sitting there, but it be Sundays, especially like, what days it usually be like that? For me, it mainly be like either a random day during the week or sometimes on the weekends where it just ain't nobody coming in there and be right slow. But on weekends, it only be like that in the morning time. Like once again, in the afternoon, it get right busy a little bit, but in the morning, bro, you just sit there waiting for people coming in. I'm like, bro,
Month of misery. But the store was dead.
the thing is that make you stand up.
You know that faint buzzing noise those old fluorescent lights make? That was the only noise I'd hear in hours, and my brain had gotten numb to it, which I guess explains why I was so startled when the front door chimed. I looked up, and there was a man walking in. He was this tall, 30-something looking black guy with an above-average build. My first thought was ex-pro athlete, but then I looked at him a little more closely. Here's the thing, and I can't overstate how jarring this was. He was quite literally covered in blood.
What the?
I guess it could have been red paint, but I knew it wasn't. It was everywhere. There was a huge splatter across his chest for one, not to mention the streaks on his face and arms. It was a cartoonish amount of blood, which is why my brain took so long to process it. It was one of those unique sights that paralyzes your brain for a few moments because it doesn't fit any familiar category of lived experience. But what really got me were his eyes. They were just empty. I don't know how else to describe them. There was nothing behind them. It legit looked like he was just walking into the gas station at 2 a.m. on any other night. He looked perfectly normal, like he was relaxed and almost bored. It was like he didn't even know he was drenched in what was very clearly blood. I'm describing all of this in vivid detail so that my reaction makes sense. I don't want to come across as some pathetic loser. It was genuinely a terrifying situation. I was completely frozen, and all I could do was stare at the guy, which was probably the last thing I wanted to be doing. I couldn't help myself. Every time I was able to look away, my gaze immediately snapped right back to his eyes. He noticed, obviously, which wasn't too surprising. I mean, I was quite literally staring at him. I'm not sure what I was expecting him to do, but I definitely was not expecting him to smile at me. And then he said, calm as anything, "Don't worry, it's not my blood." As if that was supposed to make me feel any better.
How you gonna sit here and say so? Oh, it's not my blood. Like that's gonna make me feel any better about the situation. At the end of the day, you out here to blow your body. You could either got shot, stabbed, or whatever to yourself, or you probably did that to somebody else. Who knows? And obviously, you must did it to somebody else. And you walking like that happened. Obviously, we don't think it's you that's bleeding.
That this guy is a murderer. He might have just killed someone. He might kill me. Those were the only thoughts running through my brain, and I was freaking the fuck out. But then my survival instincts kicked in, and I started acting like everything was normal. I nodded at him like he had said something normal about the weather, and I buried my head back in the magazine. I watched him walk through the aisles like nothing was wrong. He grabbed some random stuff and came up to pay. I was actually kind of surprised that he wasn't going to just steal the items. I probably would have let him. I rang him up, careful not to look him in the eyes. The nightmare was almost over. He paid in cash, didn't
But it's me, bro. The only time, me personally, the only time looking at somebody's eye, either at work or in general, if they look friendly. Like, bro, if you like you just having a bad day or something, or you just mad at the world, say I usually don't make eye contact with those people, or you just acting weird as freak. I don't make eye contact with people. Like, I want to make eye contact with you, but if you acting weird, I'm going to be looking at you. I'm like a hawk. I'm looking at you. I ain't gonna look at you in your eyes and then I'll look at your face or that, but I ain't gonna look and see what the freak you got going on, what you doing.
Else and left. The door chimed and he was gone, as simply as that. The second I heard a car engine start somewhere out in the parking lot, I grabbed the phone and called 911. I told them what I saw, and I tried to describe the guy as accurately as possible. I told them I didn't really know what had happened, but I was positive that something happened. The dispatcher was asking some clarifying questions when everything went sideways. I was mid-sentence when the door chimed again.
Oh, Lord.
Great, another customer. That was the last thing I wanted to deal with, but I was wrong. It wasn't another customer. It was him again, the guy I was in the middle of reporting to the police. He looked absolutely furious. I hung up the phone as fast as I could, but it was too late. He knew what I was doing. He must have seen me through the window. He stormed up to the counter and started demanding to know if I'd called the cops. I denied it, but he wasn't buying it. Not even a little. Things escalated quickly. He started cursing at me, telling me to mind my business and that he knew I was lying. I just put my
That's so you hit that emergency button.
Trying to defuse things.
Just smack that emergency button.
There was nothing I could do. His voice was getting louder, and those empty eyes were suddenly filled with rage. At first, I thought he was just going to yell at me, but I saw it a second too late. He jumped across the counter and attacked me before I could do anything. I don't mean he climbed over it. I mean he launched himself across the counter and tackled me to the ground before I could even react.
What the?
In 2 seconds, he went from screaming at me to strangling me, and I was fighting for my life. I thought I was going to die. I had never been in a physical altercation before that night, and I was certain this guy was trying to end my life. I thrashed around wildly, kicking, scratching, biting even. I was just trying to survive. I could feel his blood, or whoever's blood it was, all over me, smearing my clothes and face. We were still rolling around on the floor when I resorted to my final option. I screamed that I had a gun, and I wasn't afraid to use it. A complete bluff, of course. Something about the way I said it must have been convincing, though.
You should have. You had a gun.
Me. He scrambled off and bolted for the door. I was still on the ground in a painful haze when I heard his car speed out of the parking lot. I didn't even get up at first. I just laid there for a while, covered in a mix of someone else's and my blood. The police showed up maybe 10 minutes later. When they saw the state I was in, they immediately left and tried to track the guy down. I never heard from them again. There was nothing about it on the news either, so I was completely in the dark.
But I kid you not, every time these stories happen, they don't ever find a person. Do y'all not understand how irritated it is? How did they just never find a person? Well, this was before they had like crazy cameras and stuff, so they probably won't enter a position. I would look at this stuff on the thing. I like saying, well, they had that good camera. Look at this stuff. This stuff about brand new, but nah, this probably just a different picture. But it's like they just never find a person. Don't find a license plate or nothing. But he should have. But then again, that dude probably would have seen her anyway. He probably would have seen him before we got the picture of that license plate. I don't know what he could have done, to be honest. Well, at least could have walked outside, man. Show like he asked you low before doing it. Freaking no, because that dude was a killer. He probably would have snatched you up so you walked outside. I take that back. Your best bet is just be standing inside the car police like you did. But it didn't matter. He just came there and beat you up anyway. But that's the thing though. Usually, cause I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes they do have one person on third shift, but sometimes other times they do have like two people on third shift. In my honest opinion, I don't care what nobody say, unless it's not like a personal own story. Even if you have a personal own story, I feel like if you work at third shift, you should always have like 2 people working on that shift. You should never just have one person working on third shift. I feel like this is unsafe for one. Cause since somebody do come attack you, you ain't gonna have no help until help actually arrive because you the only one there. Cause they do. Actually, my store that I work at did get robbed at one point, and it's because they had one person working on third shift, which is stupid. I don't know why we have one person working third shift. Even on, cause I think like usually morning shift they somehow times have 4, and on night shift they have 4, but it's like when third shift come around, you just gonna have one person on third shift, which is crazy. If you got enough people, and for one, we already got like a few, I'm gonna say a few, like a good amount of people that work third shift. It should always be like 2 people on third shift, and I don't care what nobody say.
Experience was by far the scariest physical thing that has ever happened to me. Okay, if you thought that was crazy, I promise you this one's worse.
You got another one?
A few months after the first incident, I was still working at the same gas station, which was probably my first mistake considering what happened. But I needed the money. Also, there was a part of me that had convinced myself it was just a freak occurrence. A one-time thing that had no chance of ever happening again. But that's not the case. It was another late night.
Wait a minute. Y'all wanna know what's crazy? I know maybe I'm tripping, but these pictures gotta be AI generated. Look at these words on these dang snacks. Look at it. You can tell that's just AI generated. My thing is for the AI stuff, cause I know we got people out here that just can't stand AI. But for stuff like this, bro, do it really matter? You just using it for a picture and you're telling a story game. And the story not like, it's not like the story AI generated, which I don't know for sure. It might be, but I doubt it. I really doubt it. I pretty sure through the doors before AI became a big thing. But being able to use pictures like AI like this should be an issue. Just like in Call of Duty, for example, people complain about using AI, but it probably be like a one little section thing or like a poster or a picture or something that's really AI generated. Wow. Y'all act like the whole dang on Call of Duty game was made out of AI. I mean, it'd be different with that, but if you use the AI just to put like a poster on the wall or something, why that matter? I'm pretty sure people will still like pay real artists that they ain't gonna put pictures in their game, because for one, half of the time you can tell it's an AI generated. Sometimes they don't generate the words right. You'd be better off just looking for an actual person to do it anyway. It ain't like AI like fully accurate anyways, which I don't feel like. In my honest opinion, I don't feel like they're gonna ever make it like so dang on accurate. I feel like where it's at right now, it's probably gonna get slightly better, but not too crazy. Unless people are like other people like outside of like, I don't know how to explain it, but it probably be that one person trying to make something that's that dang on accurate, which we don't need it. Like how it is right now, I feel like it could get slightly better. It needs to stay like that. We don't need it that you could. It's to the point where you can't even say at all whether it's AI or not. Okay, right now you usually get tell it's AI like videos, pictures and stuff. Like right now I can tell this most likely probably AI because of the words on the stuff. Like stuff like this, like how this is, I feel like this stuff like that can help you detect whether it's AI or not. If you don't have stuff like this, you most likely you ain't gonna be able to say if it's AI.
Happened. Looking back, the circumstances surrounding the night were pretty much identical to that of the first incident. It was a late night.
Oh yeah, I know a thing about my story. And I guess it's a normal thing, but it's, in my opinion, stupid. Even if it's a real bad snowstorm, and I think a snowstorm is the only thing that they talk about. Like if it's something else like a hurricane or something, I hope so. If it's a hurricane or tornado outside, then we gotta stay home. But if it's a real bad snowstorm, they don't care how bad the roads is, how icy the roads is, or whatever. They can still like ask us to kind of work. Which that's probably way everywhere, but at the same time, it's like, bro. And I always talk about this guy stayed in North Carolina and we had a snowstorm pass not so long ago. And I always talk about this because like it's like, bro, Are y'all, if my car ain't a slide and I get in a wreck or something, are y'all gonna pay to get my car fixed? Or why y'all forced us to kind of work as if y'all gonna pay for whatever happens to us if it do happen? Can I get to stuck or happen and we're gonna be stuck on our own, paying for everything, making sure everything's straight, making sure we straight, and all that other extra stuff. Telling us you need to be set and ready to cut to work, and this is the day. And the crazy is, I had seen the video. I don't know if it was the governor or somebody was talking, basically saying like he advised everybody to stay home in this type of weather, which ain't gonna matter because you know why? Cause our employers are gonna still tell us to come in, no matter how bad the road is or how bad the snow is,
boredom, etc. So
in my honest opinion, I feel like if it's a real bad snowstorm or whatever, you should get paid with our time on how bad the storm is, because it wouldn't matter to us going out there, be unsafe. But there's so many people going in ditches, getting car wrecks and everything because of that snowstorm, because people want people to go to work so bad. Or some people just stupid enough to try to drive in the snow and don't know what they're doing.
This guy walks in the store and immediately catches my eye. The first strange thing I noticed was that he was wearing a suit, and not just any suit. This thing looked expensive. It was dark gray and perfectly tailored. He had no business being anywhere near a gas station past midnight dressed like that. My first thought was that he must be coming from a wedding or maybe some kind of corporate event.
But I see so many.
There had to be some kind of explanation for what he was doing.
I see so many people coming there with suits on
to gas stations in the middle of nowhere wearing nice suits. That just doesn't really happen, and I would know. The guy didn't browse or even so much as glance at the aisles. He clearly wasn't hiding his intentions, or just didn't care enough to. Instead, he walked right up to me. He didn't speak or even look at me. He just reached into his jacket pocket and pulled out a photograph.
Huh?
At first, I was beyond confused, but then I looked down at the picture, and I couldn't believe my eyes. It was a picture of that guy who had come into the store with blood all over himself and tried to kill me. The photo wasn't 100% clear, but I was sure it was unmistakably the same person. I tried to mask my surprise, but I don't think I did a good job. I kept my face glued to the photo, but I could feel that man watching me. He didn't say anything at first, and when I looked up to meet his gaze, he just stared at me, like he was studying my face or reading my mind.
Frankie-o.
I wasn't sure if he was expecting me to say something, so I didn't. It was painfully awkward, and then, after a really uncomfortably long pause, he finally spoke. His voice was surprisingly gruff, almost like he had just smoked a full pack of cigarettes. He asked me if I had ever seen that man before, and I immediately said I hadn't. It felt like the right answer, even if I couldn't explain it at the time.
You have it. How you doing with an undercover cop or something?
Any kind of illicit activity that was going on, and my gut was screaming, deny, deny, deny. The guy didn't respond. He just kept staring at me with these cold, calculating eyes that I couldn't read. It was really unnerving, especially given what he was asking me about. The silence was excruciating, and with every passing second, I lost confidence in the believability of my lie. Still though, I wasn't budging, and I was still pretty sure I had given a convincing answer. I won our little implicit standoff, and the guy finally reached down and picked up the photograph. As soon as he turned his back, I let out a huge sigh of relief, thinking everything was over. I watched him walk through the store toward the door, but right before he opened it, he stopped, and he turned back around to face me one more time, and then he just said, "I know you're lying." And then, before I could even respond, he was gone. I was pretty shocked by the whole encounter, more than I was.
That might be the undercover cop looking for him.
Being in that store all alone didn't feel safe anymore, and I didn't really know what to think. For the life of me, I couldn't figure out what the hell had just happened. Who was that guy? How did he know about the first incident? I wondered if he was a cop or detective, or if he was something else entirely. Someone connected to whatever that blood-covered man had been involved in.
Probably like a cop or a detective.
Really freaked me out. I pretty quickly reasoned that if he had been someone official like a cop, he would have revealed his identity to me, which could only signify bad news. I didn't end up calling the police that time, partly because I wasn't sure what I'd even say, and partly because of the PTSD over what happened the last time I called the police. Nothing happened for a while after that night, though. I was a little shaken, yeah, and part of me was expecting something else to happen that night, but nothing did. It wasn't until a few weeks later that I started thinking something might have actually been wrong. I started noticing the same silver SUV in various spots throughout my day. At first, it was parked across the street from the gas station during my daytime shifts, which was normal enough, but then I noticed it in the parking lot of the grocery store I went to, which was a touch stranger. Once I saw it on my street, the alarm bell started to go off again. I'm not a paranoid person by nature, but when you see the same vehicle in several different locations over the course of 2 weeks, you start to wonder.
Yeah.
I had a feeling I knew who it was, and I told myself...
Shit, they get usually where I stay at. If you keep saying... Shit. Usually when you keep saying a car like that is sitting out there like that, either it broke down, but if it keep moving most of the time, most likely a person stay in the car. But where I say it's still people that be living in their cars, bro, it's tell you it'll be like nothing scary or weird or somebody that was stalking or anything. They just be finding somewhere, they just want to park in the same spots and they ain't gonna be staying in their car. Cause sometimes if I drive past that car or truck or wherever they in, they'll have a whole bunch of stuff in there. So I know they're staying in there.
I saw the car, I would call the police and report it as discreetly as possible. I knew it was that guy who had walked into the store that night in a suit. It had to be him. The worst part about it all was not knowing how he'd figured out where I lived. Somehow he tracked me down. You have to remember, I lived alone at the time. It's not like I had protection at home or a lot of people to consult on this. I don't know why, but I convinced myself things would blow over if I just ignored it. And of course, that was an awful way to proceed. About 3 weeks after he'd first shown up, I was jerked awake in the middle of the night by the sound of glass shattering.
Oh.
My first reaction wasn't to freeze or flee, but to fight. I grabbed the baseball bat I kept under my bed and ran into the living room. There was no one there, which I was able to determine in just a few minutes because the house was pretty small. There was something though. There, sitting in the middle of the living room floor, surrounded by broken glass, was a rock. Just a plain rock, maybe the size of a fist. There was no note attached to it, but I understood what it meant. In that moment, I realized I couldn't do this anymore. That guy had clearly been stalking me, and he was clearly involved in something awful and was trying to tell me something. I didn't know what that thing was, but I knew I wanted no part of it, so I caved. I quit my job the next day and started looking for other places to live. It took me a nondescript apartment a few towns over, and I figured that was good enough. In that moment, I didn't see the SUV one time, but my mind was made up, and nothing happened after that. I was finally at peace, and I was actually able to find another job relatively easily. I ended up moving again, not even a year later, this time way out of state, and that's
even better.
But I still think about both experiences from time to time. Even though the first encounter was probably more life-threatening, it's the second one that gets me. I was never able to figure out why someone would go through all that trouble, stalking, harassment, intimidation, just because I'd called the cops on someone covered in blood. The only explanation...
But in order for somebody to be doing all that and lucky you saw you, they ain't had to have killed somebody, bro. There's no freaking way. But they'll be looking for you that hard or actually keeping tabs on where you stay at, coming to the store, ask you questions. Now, as far as the dude in the SUV and looking for him, I don't know, bro. He might be in the set, I don't know, or he might be working for the dude, I don't know. But there's probably a whole lot of backstory going on in between all this that we don't even know about, bro. Which is crazy.
I could think of was that he somehow thought I had a connection to that first guy, and I was harboring him or sheltering him or something. It's been years, and I've accepted that I'll probably never figure out the truth behind any of what happened.
My deal, y'all, bro, I ain't gonna say I actually got a story, a scary story, but I was just gonna tell y'all like the weird stuff that happened. Bro, I don't know what be going on. It might just be the homeless people coming there, but bro, every time I go in that daggone bathroom, or we have to clean the bathroom, I go in there, somebody always leave that doo-doo drawers in there. Or just have doo-doo smeared all over the walls and stuff like that. It's like, bro, that's one of the main things I don't like about gas stations. It's because 9 times out of 10 in the gas station, most of the time, a homeless person go there. They probably don't have proper home training. Do some horrendous stuff in there and then just leave. But people be out here ejaculating on the walls and stuff. People be all that dookie all over the toilet, on the walls and stuff, on the floor, everything. Dudes leaving their doodle drawers on the walls. Then you have like a shirt in there, like they wipe their tail with it, and just leaving it all over the floor and everything. And it's like, bro, you have to have at least some type of home training, because that shit's nasty. It was one time, dude, that the assistant manager had to kick out because this dude lady over here smearing doodle all over the walls and stuff and everything. And somebody had told on her, and he had went in there and kicked her out the store. The dude getting mad, so why you over here watching me in the bathroom? First of all, what do I watch you? They got reported that you were in the bathroom doing some nasty stuff, spreading doodle all over the wall. That's why he was in there. Wonder why he's stalking you or anything. And that's nasty. Well, you think everybody get kicked out or banned from the store? You already doing nasty like that? What's wrong with y'all people? Another thing I would say, at one time, a dang old person down there overdosed in the bathroom. All we heard was, keeping noise in the bathroom, like they were in pain or something. And dang on, somebody went in there and seen the person in there. And I kid y'all not, but that lady was probably in there for hours. Eventually, they had to call the police. And the boys basically told us, like, so it's a good thing y'all did call us because she was in there about to overdose in the bathroom. I'm like, bro, what is going on in this dang on store? Other than crazy stuff like that, bro, but pissing off, it's like, even the people that ain't homeless, I'm saying, it's just like grown folks don't have no type of home training or anything. Niggas, bro, you would never think. Like, it's still grown folks out here that act like kids until you work in like customer service, bro. Dudes over here leaving their trash all over the place. People spilling stuff all over the place. Don't tell nobody. People leaving their cups and tots all over the place. People out here on my side spilling coffee everywhere. Don't clean it up. People throwing coffee tots all over the place. People leaving their dang on stirred papers all over the place. People spill something on the floor or coffee on the floor and don't tell nobody. What's wrong with people? Not to say sometimes accidents happen, but it become a thing where when you do something, you just leave it there. That's what be irritating me when somebody do something, just leave it right there. What's wrong with y'all? Cause y'all, we act like grown-ups. I don't even know better, and I don't even dang on.
This happened about 8
and I'm probably younger than you.
In question, I was heading back from a job site about 3 hours from my house. I was beat.
And don't even get me started on people that use that bathroom in that store, bro. I don't understand, bro. If you know your ass stink when you use a dang on bathroom, nigga, courtesy flush. Hey, I've never heard of courtesy flush. Bro, it be people in there that's shitting in the bathroom and stinking out the whole bathroom and they're sitting in their own funk. Like, nigga, courtesy flush. If your ass ain't that bad, bro, you need a legitimately courtesy flush. Like, ain't nobody trying to spell you, bro. Well, it used to be one dude. It actually was a dude that stayed in his car. Every time he go in there and use the bathroom, I'm talking, bro, that joint smell like radioactive. That's how bad that smell was, bro. It didn't smell like no regular stink I ever smelled in my life. That joint was terrible. It was to the point that lady had to ban him from the store because he stank so bad. Like, bro, if you're gonna use the bathroom, courtesy freaking flush, bro. Like, it's not hard, bro. They press a little button on the back of the toilet and flush the toilet so the smell won't then gonna linger and he had the whole bathroom stinking. Then when niggas go in there and use the bathroom, they ain't gonna wanna use the bathroom because the bathroom stinks so bad.
Expected, and I
kid you, that bathroom hardly ever smell good because people keep stinking it up so bad.
Required. By the time I got back on the road,
what he saying then can rewind.
Beat. I was heading back from a job site about 3 hours from my house. I was beat. The job had taken longer than expected, and I didn't have the amount of caffeine in my system such exhausting work required. By the time I got back on the road, it was already past 10. I know a 3-hour drive doesn't sound too intense, but I had been working so hard that even the simple task of keeping my eyes open was a chore.
Not gonna lie, being tired and driving 3 hours, I already know that stuff, bro. Cause now you force yourself to say wait for literally 3 hours. They ain't like you regularly driving. Like, you literally burnt out.
Several years old. I don't drive a fancy vehicle with assisted driving or anything like that, so it's not like I had the comfort of knowing my car would help with the drive. About 45 minutes in, I knew I needed to stop. My eyelids were doing that thing where they just kind of drift down on their own, and I was having to physically shake my head to stay alert. so I pulled into the next gas station off the highway. It was around 11 at that point. I filled up my tank, smoked a cigarette, and kind of stood there debating what to do. I still had over 2 hours.
All the way there got energy drink or something.
I knew there was no way I'd make it. So I made the decision to take a quick nap and finish the drive afterward. I drove to the corner of the parking lot and turned my engine off. I was just going to go to sleep for a few hours right there. I've slept in worse places, it didn't seem like a big deal. I was out almost instantly. When my alarm went off, it felt like I had blinked and an hour had passed. I still wasn't fully rested, but I was definitely more alert than before.
But you said the guy energy drink.
The lot was completely empty now. There had been at least 2 other cars there when I pulled in, and they were both gone. Without as much as a second thought, I started my truck and pulled back onto the highway. Things were fine for maybe the first 20 minutes. The highway was dead, and I was kind of zoning out. Not falling asleep per se, but just letting muscle memory take over. I was essentially on autopilot. At one point, I realized my truck was making some strange noises. It actually took my brain a few minutes to process what I was hearing as abnormal. That's how zoned out I was. I turned the AC down so I could hear things more clearly. There was this faint thumping sound coming from somewhere behind me. I turned around a few times, but didn't see any loose items bouncing around in the back seat or anything like that. I figured it was just something shifting around in the truck bed. One of my tools, maybe. Beyond speculating, there wasn't much else I could do. The situation didn't really warrant me pulling over, so I made a mental note to check it when I got back home, and I kept driving.
Back home?
The sounds continued, though.
Freaking old.
It actually
I didn't know what they just getting now.
And I ended up cranking the radio to drown it out. At one point, I slammed my hand against the hood of the truck and cursed out of frustration. Strangely, that seemed to work. For maybe 10 minutes after that, things were quiet. I was relieved.
Bro, you know how frustrated you gotta be that you hear a weird noise and you just don't even bother to try to see what it is because you dead daggone tired. Bro, I know that feeling, bro.
But because it was genuinely ticking me off. The adrenaline from getting so worked up had woken me up a bit more, which was a good thing. But that increased alertness also cleared some of the brain fog, and I started thinking about how odd it was for a sound being made by an inanimate object to stop so abruptly as a result of my outburst. I had already eliminated the possibility that a faulty part in my truck had been making the sound, so the fact that slapping the hood could have caused it to stop was such a weird coincidence. I was in my head about it, debating whether I should stop or not, when out of nowhere, I heard a deafening crack come from directly behind me. It was not a normal sound, and it definitely wasn't a normal crack either. It was more like a crash, like someone had thrown a rock against one of my windows. The next 30 seconds were pure chaos and terror. I turned around in shock, and what I saw nearly made me lose control of my vehicle. There was a person standing in my truck bed, banging on the glass divider between the truck bed and the back seat with one of my tools. It was dark, but I could clearly see him. He was banging on the glass repeatedly.
First of all,
wild animal.
Why the freak are you about truck bed? But you look, y'all got a gun, I will blast you as soon as that window broke. Blast it. Your ass been flying right off that dang on truck bed.
He was moving was truly barbaric. I can't overstate that enough. I swerved uncontrollably, partly out of fear and partly to try and shake him off. I lost control of the truck and started spinning out of control. I genuinely thought I was going to flip, but all I could think about was the maniac who was trying to smash his way through the glass. I somehow managed to wrestle the truck back under control, and I skidded to a halt halfway between the right lane and the shoulder. I was too disoriented and terrified to think about how lucky I had been to avoid a wreck. And the moment my head stopped spinning, I ripped off my seatbelt. I don't know what came over me. I'm not the bravest person, and I wasn't armed, but I knew I wanted to do something. I couldn't just sit there. I had to confront the psycho in the truck bed, if he was even still there. I threw the door open and ran around the truck. As I was approaching the truck bed, I saw a man in a hoodie climbing out. He jumped onto the ground and started running for the tree line off the side of the highway. I chased him for a few seconds before realizing that was a terrible decision. It was pitch black out there. I had no idea if he was armed, and we were completely...
Why the freak would you chase her to the trees or the woods, basically? This is stupid. I would have got right in my truck and just drove off. If probably, and to be honest, I'm only honest, it's probably just a homeless person. If I was a homeless person and decided later, which is stupid anyway, why the freak you lay in somebody's truck there?
Wherever my bout of confidence had come from, It didn't last. In a matter of seconds, I was terrified all over again. I ran back to my truck and sped off without even looking back to see where that guy went. I drove for a little while and then pulled over again to inspect the damage to my truck. My brain was genuinely in shock. I couldn't think straight, and I started to feel what I can only describe as a panic attack. I calmed myself down and got out of the truck. The glass divider was destroyed. It wasn't completely shattered, but there were so many cracks in it that one more forceful impact would have taken it out.
Yep.
I climbed into the bed of my truck to see what he had been hitting the glass with, but something caught my attention before I could even figure it out. There was a foreign object in there that I didn't recognize. It definitely wasn't a tool. It took me a few seconds to realize what I was looking at. It was a trash bag. It was wrapped over on itself multiple times, like someone had been trying to keep it really secure. And it was small too, like the size of 2 fists. It looked wet, and as I crouched down to get a better look, I realized it smelled disgusting.
Ugh.
It smelled rancid, like rotting meat or food. I didn't want to touch it, but I needed it out of my truck. I needed to be as far away from that bag as possible. So as gingerly as I could, I grabbed it and quickly chucked it toward the tree line. I didn't give things another thought. I immediately got back in the driver's seat and started driving away. As I was pulling out, I looked down at my hands and realized they were tinted slightly red. The bag had been coated in something red that was now all over my hands. It was sickening, but there was nothing I could do besides drive. I rubbed
My thing is, the only reason why I don't think this is some random serial killer because unless he ran because he thought the dude had a gun or something, but even if you were like a serial killer or something, you know, on some weird stuff, I would think the dude would try to attack the person because I'm pretty sure he probably would have been laying his truck bed as a to get him basically. But for what I'm seeing, I don't know.
My jeans.
I don't know what it
tried to just make it home without going insane. I ended up keeping the incident to myself. I didn't involve the police, and it wasn't until weeks later that I even told my friends about what happened. I couldn't stop thinking about the encounter for days afterwards. I got a friend of mine to fix my glass a few days later without asking questions, and that was pretty much that. But I'd be lying if I said I wasn't affected by what happened. Looking back, the only explanation that makes sense is that he climbed into the bed of my truck while I was asleep at the gas station, which makes sense because I don't have a bed cover. But he must have been lying completely flat there for most of the drive too, otherwise I would have seen him. I've never been in a life or death situation like that before. It was by far the most terrifying thing I've ever gone through.
Nah, that's crazy, bro. But I can imagine driving on a dark highway and the highway already down there empty because you're the only one on that highway. You go and turn around and you see a dude in your bed or your truck smashing the window. I think that's why people get truck bed covers now, so stuff like that don't happen. For one, keep wherever in the trunk bed, freaking. Oh wow, keep having a bird. Keep everything in the dangle, what's called truck bed from resting and stuff, from rain and stuff. Keep it protected and stuff from weather. And also keep stuff like this for people getting your trunk and stuff and laying your truck bed. Bro, it's crazy. Out of all these dang on stories, it's crazy, guys. Look, I've been working at a gas station by far. You think so scary side? I ain't never had nothing scary out there working at no gas station. I just had weird, nasty stuff happening. Like stuff that's just straight up just disgusting. Who's this? Apparently, this dude do horror stories too. Called Lord Midnight. He got 9 views on his stories. My thing is, why his video looks so dang on similar to Mr. Nightmare? Like, you could at least do yours a little different. Like, dang on, it just look damn about the same. But it's so crazy though. I'm still confused on the guy that dang on what's called. How that blood in him, most likely, and I'm pretty sure he killed some people. And there's no way he didn't. First guy has all the survival instincts of a limp noodle. At least a noodle would jump out of the hot water. You know what? At least he lived. Oh, let me read this. He said he lost me when he told the man that he had had him on the floor and pummeling him that he had a gun and wasn't afraid to use it. So the guy immediately released him and left. I don't think the attacker would have let up, because if the victim could get to and use it, he would have could easily once the man got up. Also, he had the blood from the man all over him, but police never called an ambulance or had someone stay a while with him. Wait until he got a hold of his boss and someone else, or escort him home. Even the scenarios with the second guy makes no sense. I know crime doesn't always make sense, but this one sounds like a work of fiction or one of the strangest crime counters I ever heard. Cute pasta levels high writing. My thing is, didn't they say it was a brand new day? Or am I tripping? I could have sworn when the second story started, he said it was a different day. Let me see. Maybe I'll trip it. I could have sworn I heard it.
Okay, if you thought that was crazy, I promise you this one's worse. A few months after the first incident.
Yeah. A few months after the next incident. What is this person right here talking about? He said, I don't think the table had later because he said something. Also, he had blood from the man over him, but the police never called an ambulance or had someone say a while with him. Wait till he got a hold of the boss or someone else or escort him. I'm confused because was that part even adding the story? I could have sworn he just said so he called police and after that they never found the dude or something. I don't think he just added all that extra detail. I'm confused with whatever to try to say that comment. This is so the cops in the first story to decide not to return, no statement from the guy, no report, no what. See, that's the thing, like, were people not listening to the story? Did the dude, it said so the cops in the first story just decided not to return, no statement from the guy, no report. What? My thing is, well, y'all not listening to the story. The dude could really explain what the guy looked like and everything before the guy came back in there as hell, basically. Y'all want a cop go look over somebody there, it came and fine because it don't have no dang license plate number. And on top of that, at the beginning of the story, he said they didn't have cameras like that, like real good security. So most likely, even if they went to go check the camera, try to see who the freak it was, it probably wouldn't be no good. He said, yeah, but I doubt cops would go aimlessly trying to find a guy who had seen him in the head start. They had no description of the vehicle either, just of the guy. He was long gone with that seen in his head start. That's what I'm saying. He said something. If you listen closer to the details in these stories, you'll realize that at least 75% of them are fictional. I'm always about spotting contradictions in these. The second I pick out a detail that doesn't make sense, I skip it. Because if I want to have ass plot lines, I just watch something on Netflix or Game. Y'all gotta understand. Okay, what? Let's say it's a nightmare getting these stories from other people that bringing home these stories. It might not even be on him why there's not a lot of detail in these stories because the person that probably wrote the story didn't put all that detail. Well, y'all ever think about that? But I ain't gonna sit here and act like in my mind that ain't ever come across that these stories that could be fictional because it have came out across my mind on multiple occasions, but who knows? And also, I don't know if people seeing him these stories. See, look, I told you. He said if you want to send a personal true story or yours, please send it through email, mrnightmareboss@gmail.com. Please do not send anything written such polished by AI. Anything with poorly structured sentences and grammar will not be read. So please just make them neat and understandable. Please, see, look, Do y'all even read the description? Because say if this stories is fictional, say they're not real, it's technically not Mr. Nightmare fault. Half these people probably either sending him fake stories that it sound like they real, or either some of them probably is. I feel like, in all honesty, it probably mix of real and unreal stories. The first one could have been fake, but the second one didn't really sound fake to me, to be honest. Look at this. I literally just talk about this in the video. Most gas station bathtubs are horror stories themselves, bro. I kid you not, bro. Like, bro, the stuff that people doing in them gas station bathrooms is insanity. Like, what the freak be wrong with y'all people? And that's another thing. That's the thing that be pissing y'all about these stories. They either don't call the police, either take too long to call the police, or they just do some stupid stuff. Like the last video I watched, and the dude went back out there in the woods to see what the freak was going on instead of calling the police and telling them that basically the place they were at. Why you go back out there by yourself? Well, that's genuinely an idiot. I always call the cops. Don't just leave a situation or something terrible happen and not report it. Leave a paper trail or of events. Some people. That's what I'm saying. Like, bro, you tell me a time that crazy happened, see you to the point, and down there how you have a panic attack, and you're not gonna call the police. I don't know. Y'all, whoever watching me, y'all let me know in the comments. Do y'all feel like some of these stories are fictional? Okay, I say they could possibly. I might watch this on my cause y'all, I ain't gonna lie. I put my PCO in. I might take a whole week off, so I might get these 10 videos uploaded on dang on my main channel in no time. But like I was saying, what I was about to say. Oh yeah, I was about to say, y'all let me know. Do y'all feel like some of these stories? I feel like it could possibly be, some of them possibly is fictional, in my opinion. I feel like a lot of them probably fake, or possibly fake. I feel like it's a bit of them, some of them being real, some of them being fake. Okay, like he said, people do be emailing him these stories, so even if they could be fake, the only thing is, I feel like another thing that could possibly make them seem like they're fake, because some people legitimately just not good at telling stories. Like they leave out a whole bunch of good detail or crucial details of the story because they feel like it just drags on the story or something. But I feel like some of the detail is crucial to add. Because when you don't, cause that's the thing, but when you don't add details when you tell people a story, 9 times out of 10 they're gonna either say you lying or it's fake. If you legit keep leaving out a bunch of details, people not gonna believe you, bro. And that's basically how that first story was. Like the way that the events happened, bro, it's like either that person will tell the truth and it is bad as tell stories, or either it's up a fake. It's only them between that two, bro. That's the only thing I can say. But yeah, bro. One thing I would say, bro, I'm ready to start working at a gas station. To be really honest, I'm ready for the time to come where I find me a new job and working somewhere else. This day though, someone saying so, it's not my blood, bro. That's even worse than not being your own blood. That means else like you killed somebody or killed something. Something happened. Shoot. Anyways, y'all make sure y'all like, cover the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications so y'all always know when I post the videos. You feel me? There's one I might end up looking at a lockdown one, bro. I bet one that do have like actual realistic stories in there would be the lockdown one. There's so many lockdowns so that it not happening in real life. There's no way people don't got no dang a realistic story about it. But y'all let me know, do y'all work at gas station? Have y'all ever had some scary stories working at gas station? It just be weird. It's weird looking at this because 9 times out of 10, because sometimes I be watching Belize and Corey Kitchen play games. So, a lot of times it take place and them working in a convenience store, like a gas station. It always be something like that. Well, bro, go ahead, get out of here, bro. Peace.